is 7.3a, okay, which is a contribution to Chin, which was you guys, right? Okay, what is the single most important contribution we want to make sure we have down, Joe? Unified China, okay? And what was that period of time that he ended? 200. The 200 years of Warring States period. Okay, so he does unify China. That is the big one that he is given the credit for. What other things did he do? Okay, he started the Great Wall. We know that there was additions made to it. Did he himself work on it? No. He forced people to do it for him. Okay, what other big building project did he start? Tim?
He built a tomb.
Yeah, he built a gigantic tomb. Who was it for?
Himself.
For himself.
He built it. He started building it at age 13.
Yeah, he built it when he was very young. Yeah, he had sensors checking officials. What did he do with the money and the weights? What did he do with that?
He made them like all over China, so it's just one sort of.
Yeah, he did what's called standardized. He standardized all of that. Standardized the money and the weights that were used. We have Great Wall up there. Yes. Okay. So we standardize those things to make it easier when you're traveling around the country that everybody's using the same money. Okay. Was he good or bad for China? What's something that he did that would have been considered good, Christian?
Oh, he started the Great Wall to protect China.
Okay, so the Great Wall would be on the good side. Okay. What's another good thing?
He made unified China.
Okay. Rather than rewrite it, let's just do that. He unified China. That's a big positive. Okay. He standardized money. Are all these things good things he did that are up here? Okay, so let's take a look at the bad things. Put those on the other side. What's probably one of the bigger ones?
He buried his people inside the wall.
Okay, he buried. I'm just going to use this term. He is very cruel to his people. And we have many, many examples of that. Okay?
He made the farmers build the Great Wall.
Okay, he forced people into labor to do the work. People didn't say, hey, let's go build a giant wall. They were forced to do that.
People that didn't listen to him were buried alive.
Okay, he buried people alive. He killed a lot of people who didn't agree with him. What was the thing he did with history that you guys brought up in the debate?
He burned history.
Yeah, he burned a lot of the historical and scholarly writings. Lots of stuff that said things bad about him. And at that time, we didn't have a lot of books. They were typically on scrolls. But a lot of the historical scrolls, and specifically Confucius, the stuff that he was writing, the text around him, those were all burned. Okay? All right, let's take a look at our next one. Contributions to the Han Dynasty. Let's just make a list. What were some of the things they did? Paper, that's a good one. You guys are all utilizing that one right now. Another one.
Steel.
Specifically, what did they make out of steel?
They made drill bits.
Drill bits and various tools, yeah. Okay, anything else? Yes, they created the civil service exams, which we will get to on the next slide. But yes, they are the ones that really started those. Joe? Okay, the water wheels for the mills. Good. Acupuncture. And there's another one that had to do with boats. You remember what those two things they did with the boats? They traveled, Jonathan? They improved them. There was two things they added or did with them. You remember those? The rudder, yeah, the rudder, which is that thing in the bottom that helps direct the boat. And one more thing. Not the compass. The sail, yeah, the wind sail. Yeah, they had a sail that helps them utilize the wind to push them where they want to go. Okay, so there's a lot of inventions during the Han Dynasty, which we went over. Okay. Okay, civil service exams. We just said were created by the Han Dynasty. So positives, negatives. We really have two big, one in each really big important things we want to remember. What's the big positive of these exams?
They gave people the jobs they deserve.
They gave people what? Say that again.
The jobs they deserve.
Okay, it gave people jobs they deserved, or they were talented in. Okay, so it allowed or it helped people, or actually helped match people with jobs. So if you took that test and it showed that you were really good, as I think the example we used yesterday, you were really good with numbers, then you're going to have a government job that has to do with numbers. You're going to be an accountant or something like that. If you take that test and you are horrible, they're not going to put you in that job. And we all kind of agree, well, that kind of makes sense. Ethan, what do you want to add?
For the negative side, like the people who were not very wealthy couldn't take the test.
Why not? You're right, but why not?
Because they didn't have a lot of money.
Because it costs money to do this. Okay, so the big negative is it favored the rich. Hang on. Let's start that word again. Okay, so it favored the rich. Because the poor could not afford to take the test. Therefore, they couldn't get the jobs. And that's a problem. Now, there was another kind of smaller negative that we talked about. Does anybody remember what that one was?
The only 1 in 5 people.
Yeah, very few people. Like 1 in 5. 1 in 5 passed. Okay. So yes, it was good to match people up with jobs they were going to be good at, but very few people could afford to take the test, and even fewer actually passed the test to get those jobs. Okay, so in theory, sounds good, but maybe not the best setup. Okay? All right, then we have one final thing we're going to be looking at, and this is the Silk Road. Okay? It's the last one. So if we're looking at Silk Road, how did the Silk Road help trade? Probably the first thing we think of with trade, Silk Road, how did it help that?
It brought everyone together to trade, so there was a lot more trading.
Okay, there was a lot more trading. Why? You're right.
Yeah, because it brought everyone together, so there was more people.
What do you mean it brought everybody together? What do you mean by that? Because you're right. So if you're in your country over there and I'm in my country over here, if we don't have the Silk Road, are we going to be able to do that? No. So what did that road allow us to do? Yeah, to go between one. Lydia, what are you going to say? Okay. So the Silk Road's effect on trade, okay, we'll do that one first, is it allowed people to move, or people to connect, I guess I should say. And that is not the word I wanted to spell. Connect and trade. So it allowed people to connect with other people. China, we said, was kind of isolated with the mountains and the deserts, and that Silk Road allowed them to have access to other people, but also other people to have access to them. And what was their primary thing that they traded, or were very well known for? Silk, which is why the name of the road is the Silk Road. Okay, how did it help communication? Let's do that one next.
It helped communication because it gave people that were trying to talk to like others along the Silk Road a faster route.
Okay, so there's people talking on the road. Good.
They used camels as their transportation, and they used the trade route to communicate from city to city.
From city to city, okay. So let me ask you this again, Nicole. You're in your country, I'm in my country. I don't even know you exist. You don't even know I exist. We have this road now. How does that make communication between us now possible?
We can like transportate to kind of like find each other.
Okay, so now we at least know we exist. And so that's going to open up communication. Because again, China was one of those places people really didn't know a lot about because people didn't ever go there. Silk Road opened that, okay? So again, what this does for communication, it allows for people to come into China and people to leave China. I'm going to say in or out. And when you're going in these, in and out of China to these different places, you're communicating with people. And you're learning about their place, and they're learning about China. When we talk about Rome, we get a little bit further down, we'll talk about Marco Polo and what he did. Okay? Not the game, but the man. Okay, then the last one is the spread of culture. What do you want to say about that?
That like they told stories like.
Okay. What do you mean by that? You're right.
Like when a person meets another person, when they come back to their country, then like they talk about the stories. They seem really interested about the stories.
Yeah. The Silk Road is going to allow you to see other places and learn about other places, and that's going to spread culture. Okay? That is a terrible A. That is terrible. Start over. All right, I will post this up later, guys.
You will post this up.